I'm Karen Powell, and I'm the author of a book, 2 Ears, 1 Mouth and a Big Heart, Conversations to Amplify and Inspire. I'm also the founder and creator of Your Time Matters, which is a community for business owners who are looking for support, connection, and education. We learn so much from those conversations. We learn so much from the experience and the knowledge of other people. And opportunities can come from very unexpected places, as you will see. Today, I'd like to introduce you to Garth Davis from Property Powerhouse. I met Garth on a Zoom call last week, and when he talked about his life in Zimbabwe, I knew I had to introduce him. Hello, Garth. How are you today?
Good, thanks, Karen. Thanks very much for having me on today.
It's a pleasure. When we were talking about the coronavirus and the situation that we're finding ourselves in, my ears pricked up when you talked about your life in Zimbabwe and how tough times had brought out the best in people and perhaps taken them in directions that they were not fully aware of at the time. So firstly, Garth, tell me a little bit about yourself, personally and professionally, and then we'll get on talking about your business and why I thought that you could help to inspire some of my community.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, Karen. So, yes, my name's Garth Davis. I'm originally from Zimbabwe in Africa. Lived there all my life, did schooling there, university in South Africa, immigrated to Perth, Western Australia in 2002. My wife is from Zimbabwe, and our 2 beautiful children, Carl and Travis, who are now 15 and 13, were born in Joondalup. We have a property business here, which I am the CEO and founder, and that is called Property Powerhouse. And we specialize mum and dad investors buy properties all around Australia. So that's what we currently do. Had quite an interesting life in Zimbabwe, which we had also lots of conditions like this where there were lots of shortages and lots of time with going without things. So
I'm sure we'd like to hear about your experience in Zimbabwe and what you learnt from that experience.
I was growing up, initially the country was called Rhodesia, and it had sanctions from all the other countries around the world, which meant that the country battled to export any of its tobacco and agricultural products, but it also meant that we really battled to get things in. So there was a lot of challenges in those times of imported goods. And then even Zimbabwe, when things weren't going well in the economy was basically collapsing. It was very difficult to get any type of day-to-day stuff. That includes fuel, it includes things like candles, matches. So we're very used to having shortages, and the thing is, people just sort of got on with it as normal day life. As the economy was very poor, yes, they were battling to get foreign currency, so particularly anything that was imported, there was a shortage. And then as prices started to get inflation, what would happen is the government would impose fixed prices on things. So, for example, they would make a declaration, a law that you could only sell bread at $2, but it was costing the bakers $2.50 to make it. So, but they were forcing them to sell. So, what would happen instead of producing 10,000 loaves of bread, they'd only produce 1,000. So there was queuing everywhere. So Zimbabwe was full of queuing for 20 litres of petrol. I mean, I'm talking 2 kilometres worth of cars waiting for 20 litres of fuel. So they would stay overnight queuing for that. They'd be queuing for bread, queuing for cash at the bank. So the reason is, we sort of mentioned that today, is it's something that we kind of got used to in everyday life. It wasn't good. It wasn't something that you would accept easily, but you just got on with it. And one of the really good things that came with it is that people became very kind and it brought the communities together. So that if there was a chance for you to get 2 of something, you might share that with your friend, and you just repay that when you got a chance to get 2 of something. So yeah, you had to come together. The community had to come together, and and you had to share and try and help your friends, help your community, and in a lot of ways it brought people closer together.
Yes, I was having a conversation this morning with someone else in our community, and from Romania, and she said it was just natural to have shelves empty. So I think, you know, part of it is shock for Australians, because we just haven't experienced that before. And you know, this is not meant to be a scaremonger conversation at all. It's meant to be a conversation of sort of hope that, you know, we can survive these situations. It's just that it's all very new, and that's painful. You know, new things are painful to get used to, but there are ways to get through it. So how
and I just think, sorry, Karen, the important thing I think we're going to understand when we get out the other side of this is that the important things, we're going to really, I think, appreciate the important things that now, like our family and our friends and our community. And really, you know, if the toilet papers apply this or apply that, is that really a big deal? You know, as long as you can get something of it, some type of toilet paper, some type of, some type of soap, some type of sugar, sometimes it takes times like this to realize, look, is it really that important to be so fussy? And should we just appreciate what we've got? And I think there'll be a lot of appreciation coming out of it. Just appreciate that you can go somewhere and it's available. Even things like now, with us not being able to, and we know things are changing daily, but, just the opportunity to go down to the coffee shop and grab a coffee, sit down with your friends and have a coffee, that's a luxury. And, we'll appreciate that, I think, more when the coffee shops and that open again, that, we really appreciate the people that work there, appreciate the opportunity to go there. And so we should always be appreciating these wonderful things that we've got.
Definitely. So just tell me a little bit about how your journey out of Zimbabwe and how your journey into Australia and what you're doing now.
Well, basically it came down to, there was a turning point for me where eventually all the sort of chaos and trying to make a plan, eventually I just sort of turned around and said, look, if I accept second best, I'm going to become second best. And I decided I wasn't going to do that. So I'd already come over to have a look-see in Australia. I'd come to have a look at Perth, seen what a beautiful country it was, and then had the difficult task of trying to sell my business. I had to try and sell the little 100-acre farm that I had my horses on. And so all the things that I'd built up, I had to give away, and basically came to Australia, where I knew one person, came on a very difficult business visa. But it was just, hey, look, I've got to get out and I'll do what I've got to do when I get to the other side. We came in on a temporary business visa and had to buy a business or start a business, employ lots of people. And it's a daunting thing when it's actually presented in front of you. It would be like, Karen saying, right, you go off to London or you go to America and, right, you got a temporary residence, get on with it. You got to start a business, employ 3 people. You got to turn over this, turn over that. But you know what? We got through. And we actually bought a service station, which ticked a lot of boxes for turnover and employing people. And look, again, another thing that I think's hardened us for this process. And also one of the things in my background, also I was at a boys-only boarding school for 5 years, and I think that has also sort of battled and hardened me for conditions like we're in now too. That you just got to get through. You got to stay focused, and you just got to get through. It's not normal conditions, but I think real leaders stand out now. And I was just listening to something interestingly on the news just before we got on, and they're interviewing an astronaut that went into self-isolation for 1 year when he went out to space. And I was just picking up some tips that he was talking about, that you've got to have some routine. You've got to keep your mental side and physical side right. And what he was talking about, absolutely, you've got to keep some physical routine, whether it's walking down at the beach, whether, I know we can't go to gyms, but go running, go walking, try and stay in touch with your family and friends. And very importantly in times like this is, again, stick to a routine. Get up at a certain time, go and do this, go and do that. There will be more time to maybe spend time with family and that, but keep routine and keep focused, because we're not in this forever. And I think from a business perspective, you've got to look at the opportunity. There is silver lining out there. There is a silver lining, and each business has got their own silver lining, but there's no point just curling up and giving up as a business owner. You've got to we've been thrown a new set of rules and a new set of conditions, and it's a level playing field now. None of us know, and you must use that as an advantage. Small business and big business now, we're in the same environment. They're unsure. They've never been there. We've never been there. But small business, if you're in smaller business, I think we have an advantage. We're nimble. We can make quick decisions, and the thing is to try and make the most of the current situation.
I think that's true, and to be in the situation where you have a supportive network to lean on, to ask questions, to gain from their experience, and that's another reason part of this these conversations is we learn so much from other people and the experiences that other people have had and the knowledge that we have, and we need to tap into those things very much now. So I also noticed on your website, it talks about your involvement with your boys and sport and your life in Western Australia, and also your involvement with the CEO Sleep Out, which goes very well with your desire for people to have homes and roofs over their head. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I've done 3 years now of the CEO Sleep Out for the homeless. That's coordinated with St. Vincent de Paul's, and I'm going to be doing it again this year. And yeah, just something that I've got a really soft spot for is trying to help certain parts of the community. So we have been very involved with our community and sponsoring sports clubs and sports teams, giving back to the community there. But and I know we all have a soft spot of where we also want to help, and I feel particularly passionate about helping the homeless, particularly now in times like this. There's so many other distractions and so many other people that need help. Is that they're the kind of people now that is there any money to trickle down to them, with people very distracted and trying to look after their own families first, which is fully understandable and the correct thing. But it's the byproduct of what's going on now is the people or the services or the animals that we've been assisted before. We mustn't forget them. And it's a great time now to really step up as a leader. As I said earlier, be a leader to the people around you and your community, and help the people that you can. And it's not about financially also trying to help them. It's trying to be supportive, kind, caring. And in our businesses, make those phone calls. How are you? I haven't spoken to you for a while. Are you traveling okay? Are you managing okay? I think it's a really important time, because you wanted to be remembered during times of difficulty. You know what? Karen was that person who phoned me every couple of weeks, or Garth did this, or Garth did that. And I think it's an important time where you can do something different. And those things they build relationships for a long time. And like you said, with your working your referral partners and things like this is the time to show your really what you're worth. Are you just there for the business, or this person really got my back, this person really cares about me? And this is with your clients, your suppliers, your referral partners, your families. It's really, I'd say show people the love. There's a time to show it. It's now, and it's continuing. It's not just I phoned once in 2020 to see if they were going okay. This is a time I think people will feel, gee, that person really cared about me.
I think it's our responsibility too, because our children are watching on as well, and they've never faced anything like this, and they're feeling insecure. And if, as a parent, you're insecure and unsettled, then it only feeds through to your children. I was teaching when 9/11 happened, and I know how unsettled it was going into classrooms with children who were distressed. And I've heard of a press conference that was held by the Danes for children, and the children were asking questions like, will I be able to see my friends? Will I be able to have a birthday party? Our children are watching on as to acts of kindness and how people are looking after each other. And also, some of them just are going to get more family contact than perhaps they would have had under normal situations. And as I said earlier, my business is called Your Time Matters, and to me, relationships are absolutely everything. When we die, we don't talk about the amount of money people make at eulogies. We talk about the impact they've made on other people's lives. And so I think now is a really fantastic time to be able to pull together and to be able to have conversations, deeper, purposeful conversations about how you can help people and what they need. And as you say, it will come back. There's a karma effect. If we can help each other, then the karma effect, it also makes you feel more secure and comfortable yourself if you're helping somebody else, because I think everybody really likes to help, and it takes that focus off yourself if you're thinking about other people. So,
and you know, I just see this as a time now. I don't know why, but I'm actually very inspired at the moment. I'm very driven, and I just think like there's a real opportunity for me to stand up and be a leader, not only in my industry but in my community. And I'm taking that with both hands.
yeah.
And also what I know at this time is also for all the property people out there, and particularly property investors and my property clients, is what they need at the moment is good, clear education and guidance. And that's what this next little while is really, I've sent out a national survey. I've got some questions that are burning questions from them. And literally this week I start to do some short interviews with property experts, giving up-to-date knowledge so people can make educated decisions, because the information and education is up to date. It's clear. I want to clearly communicate to them what's happening in the market, what's happening with any subsidies on rent, what's happening in any subsidies with mortgage, because people have got concerns. And it's important that leaders stand up now, listen to the questions, and try and deliver the answers to calm people so that there's no mixed messages. Okay, as of today, this is the message coming out. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. And I'm available. Phone me, talk to me, ask the questions. You know, don't sit there getting stewed up about things that may or may not happen. Let's talk. Let's be proactive. If something happens, if your tenant stops paying the rent, what are your options? So let's get ahead of the problems. Let's ask the questions. Let's get the experts to answer them. And I think that also gives people some clarity and tries to get rid of as much uncertainty as we can.
Absolutely. Uncertainty is such an important thing for us. So absolutely. So it also makes us take up the opportunity to do things differently, because I've always resisted the situation of having online networking events, because I thought, no, you have to be in the room together, and that's important. It's opened up the opportunity now that I'm running all my networking events online and workshops and having more conversations like this. And so it's spreading the reach. And I wouldn't have met you if it hadn't been for the online conversation that we were in last week. Really am pleased I've met you, Garth. I really like your attitude. It's very reassuring to know that there are people there out about, you know, taking this situation by the horns and trying to move it forward and not let it get us down, because yes, it's unnerving, yes, it's uncomfortable, but we will come out of it. So thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.
And I look forward to watching your interviews and seeing your progress in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.